about that. And of course, Pelican Sports TV, we welcome to the set the lacrosse. I said that wrong. I can't believe I did that. The men's lacrosse coach at LSU, Jeff Echols, coming off the best year in lacrosse at LSU since it started back in 1973, and only your second year. You realize you're raising the bar now, huh? Jeff, how are you?
Good to see you, Tommy. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you. Appreciate you being with us a couple of times this year, and we were happy to partner up and do the match that you had with the game with ULL out at Olympia Stadium, which was a win for the Tigers, and a lot has happened. Wanted to get you in here to kind of recap the season, if you will, and then we'll tell some people about some awards, and then we'll start looking forward. Talk about the best lacrosse season in the history of LSU lacrosse.
Well, it was, Tommy, and again, thank you for having me on. It was a season of first, and one of the first things you mentioned, what an honor it was that Pelican Broadcasting covered and televised our game against ULL, a win for LSU this year. That was a great experience for the team, the players, our parents, and our fans. And it was broadcast all over South Louisiana. We had a lot of people comment on it, and it just gave us some great exposure. So thank you for that.
On that, I got an email in from Atlanta, Georgia. Someone who had a grandson that was in the game and wanted a copy of the game.
Oh, wow.
Wanted to be able to see it. So LSU lacrosse was spreading out much more than South Louisiana.
It is. And some of your producers was able to package it in a way. They emailed it to us. We sent the highlights out. So it's really gotten a lot of exposure all over. I've had some LSU alumni from California contact me that tell me they enjoyed watching it also.
So you never know who's watching.
Yeah,
you get it on out there. But talk about the season aside from the game with ULL, which you guys won. I want to say 21-8.
Yeah,
was the final that
was it.
But talk about the season. You know how it got going. Guys got hot, and then you know it ended not the way you wanted it. But talk about it.
Yeah, the first thing I did was I wanted to make sure that we did up the bar with a schedule for the 2015 season, and we scheduled a lot of teams that either LSU had never played before, but definitely the big SEC traditional football powers, and we started the season off going 5-0. I mean, we started off hot, playing and beating Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Florida, Auburn, and then we kind of got into the tougher part of our schedule. We went to Tallahassee, and unfortunately we lost to Florida State and Central Florida. But we came back, got back in stride, beat Alabama, Miami, lost a close one to South Carolina. So at that point in the season, we've lost a few, but we're finding out kind of who we are. And then we get into the back part of the season, which is the tough part of our conference, playing Texas State and Texas, both teams that we felt like we could beat. We were prepared, and we just have to acknowledge those two schools are just a notch above us still. And Texas State ended up winning the conference championship this year. We did make the playoffs. We did finish 10-5 on the regular season, went to Dallas, played SMU in the first round, lost that game, but finished up 10-6 overall, and definitely a milestone season for us.
Well, you mentioned the likes of Texas State and Texas being a notch above you. I think in any sport at any level, when you compete against those who are a notch above you, that gives you a reading. Okay, this is where we got to get. This is what we got to do. We got to remember how we got to where we're at, and now we got to take it a step further. So it's going to sound corny, but if you beat everybody 30-5, or you're really getting better. And I think you as a coach, you as a former player, know that going against the competition is key.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it raises the bar. We said that earlier, and it makes you strive for the teams that you know you need to beat to be better and get some national recognition. And in a moment, we'll talk about the awards, and I think a lot of that had to do with the schedule that we played. But, you know, it's one thing to go 10-5 and you're playing teams that are really below you or a lower conference level, but when you're reaching higher, playing schools like SMU, South Carolina, Florida State, and you're playing them year in and year out, and maybe you're not winning all of them, but it's making your program better.
Yes, and it was the best year for LSU lacrosse, as we mentioned, and then you had some guys who got some special recognition. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, we did. I tell you, it was the biggest year ever for honors by some of my players, and I had 9 guys receive conference honors this year. For the first time ever, we had not only 1 guy, but 3 guys made all-conference. And you're seeing right there one picture. That's Josh Henderson, who was a first-team all-conference, also got recognized on the All-America team. And for the second year in a row, he was recognized as a National Scholar Athlete.
I just saw that scholar part. That's a big positive right
Josh
there.
is an amazing young man. He just
Where's
graduated. He's from Houston, went to Kingwood High School in Houston. And like I said, finished with honors in the league, 2-time Scholar Athlete of the Year. And then there you're seeing now a picture of Hunter Stinson. Hunter was really our all-around player. Hunter finished first team all-conference, All-American, honorable mention, and then back to the conference. Not only was he first team all-conference, but he was the conference most valuable player and offensive player of the year. Just an amazing year for Hunter.
Very good. And then we had a team picture, I think.
Yeah, I submitted one. There we go. That's the team picture this year.
Out at Olympia Stadium.
Yeah, out at Olympia.
You played some of your games.
We did,
Some of them are on the UREC field.
Right. We played 6 home games this year. 3 of them were at Olympia, which gives us that big stadium feel, and we tried to schedule some of our bigger games there. But you can see we've increased our staff this year. I've got a staff of 3. Myself makes 4, and a roster of about 35 players.
Well, that's good. And so now, you've raised the bar, as I mentioned a little while ago. What's next for LSU Lacrosse?
Well, we've had a great offseason in recruiting. I am very proud.
I've seen some stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, it is. We definitely stepped up this year in regard to wanting that every time we've got a young man to commit, and there's a picture of Zach Minton, who's been the starting goalie at Catholic High the last 2 years. He made all-conference. He's been recruited by some varsity programs, and we've got him coming to LSU next year. Very, very proud of that. This is a young man. This is Paul Stapp, who was a 3-time starter at Jesuit in New Orleans. He's made All-State 2 years in a row. He's led them to 2 straight state championships. Paul committed to us back in November. He's 6'5" and weighs 215. This kid's going to be a player for us. Yeah. This is Jordan Elin. He's another starter from Mandeville High. We got him committed early. He's an attackman. He's about 5'10", weighs about 165, got great hands, hustles. I've got a great report from him on his coach.
All right.
And then the last kid real quick, Justin David, another local kid from Catholic High, a 2-time starter. His dad was a great athlete back in the day, and Justin's become quite the attackman. So we're lucky to have him coming for us next year.
Talk about the recruiting process. You're not a part of the athletic department. You're in the UREC. It's a little bit of a different scenario, but it's something you're familiar with. Talk about how when you go to recruit these kids, that it's a little bit different than the major sports.
Yeah, those young men are all local, and I can actually reach out and talk to them. Their high school coaches know me, but I've got a long list of players here. We've got 3 kids coming from Florida, 1 from New Hampshire, 1 from the New Jersey area, Texas. They either reach out to me through our, how we've been accomplished on the website. Yeah, I get an email a week, sometimes 2 or 3 from guys. The biggest recruiting thing that LSU Lacrosse has going for us is that we're on TV every weekend during football season. I mean, we ride the coattails of the success of our football team, and these kids from around the country see us playing on TV, the culture and everything, and they say, wow, I want to check out LSU. Then they look at our lacrosse schedule, our season, how we're doing, and they say we're accomplished. But every one of these 10 guys that's on my list here of guys that have committed that are coming, I've met with these guys individually. They've been to campus. I've set a meeting up. They usually bring their parent, and we make it like a recruiting experience for them. And when they commit full time with us, we load their picture up on the Facebook. We make a big deal. We run a blurb about them. And I am excited about these young guys that I've got coming from Florida, like I said, Texas, and others.
Well, certainly it's exciting for them to come to Baton Rouge and to South Louisiana and all the other athletic stuff in town. And certainly it should be a pretty good sell. You get them a little good food and a little Southern hospitality.
Absolutely.
And they're ready to be a part of the community.
It is. And I'm looking at the size of some of these kids. I mean, I've got one kid that's reached out to us, Patrick Clancy. I got to mention him from Palm Beach Garden, Florida. He's 6'3" and weighs 180. This kid's he's an attackman. And I've got another kid here. Let's see, from Westwood, Massachusetts, Patrick Ford, 6'2", 180. We're getting some size. And you're right, they see that culture, they see Baton Rouge, they're thinking, I could go to school in the Northeast, but I'm going to go to school in the South, at a big football school. And so, we're reaping the benefits of that.
All right, educate me and everyone else, what's next for lacrosse players? What do they do in the summer? What do they do in the fall? Are there some camps? Are there things that you're doing, they're doing? In preparation for the 2016 season. Give us the calendar, if you will, of what happens going forward.
Yeah, all these kids obviously go home for the summer. I've got a few that are in Baton Rouge, and those that are here, they'll work out over the summer. They've reached out to me, and we've got a very light workout regimen. I really give them the summer off. These guys are college athletes, and they want to come back in good shape in the fall. Some of them will also go back to their hometowns, and they'll play on club teams all summer, which is good, keep their stick skills up. But they'll report back to the fall semester in August. We'll have a meeting in early September, around September probably 8th or 9th, And then 2 weeks later, we'll start our fall practice. And we'll go hard for about 2 months, fall ball, 3 days a week. We'll play a small fall schedule, about 4 games. Those don't count toward the conference. We'll dismiss them for about 6 weeks for Christmas holidays and break. And then we come back with a training camp in January. It's a 2-a-day camp before school ever starts, reminiscent of the days of football gone by, my football background. And we work them pretty hard for a week, 2-a-days, and then we start school in the spring, and 3 weeks and our season starts.
How does it feel for you, Jeff Echols? A little over 2 years ago, you came here to coach lacrosse and to see the strides the program has made internally and externally. How's that make you feel? I'm
humbled by it, Tommy. I really am. And this is, you know, we're building a program here, and clearly I appreciate you having me on, but there's so much behind the scenes. You know, 3 great assistant coaches. I mean, I can't say enough for my staff, you know, and everything they do for me. Brett Smith's been with me since the very beginning, and it's those guys that help keep this wheel moving. I've got quiet guys that are even further behind the scenes that help me, you know, with media and publications and everything. And
you have a committee?
We have a committee of, I've got about 6 guys that are not really affiliated with LSU. They're kind of a quiet committee that helps advise me on many things in regard to media and getting us out in the open. But I'm humbled by what we've built in a couple of years, and I think it is definitely creating something that when I'm gone, whoever the next guy is, you know, can take it and then move it beyond. I get a lot of questions of, when's LSU going to go varsity? When are we going to go Division I? And I said, well, not in my lifetime, it's not going to, but you got to go through all of these steps. Then maybe one day a Joe Oliva might look at us and go, wow, lacrosse has built itself to national recognition. We need to look at that sport.
Yeah, and I think the sport is growing tremendously at the high school level in Louisiana, the club level, summer camps. More and more kids are getting into lacrosse. I mean, if I go back 10 years, I don't even know that I even heard the word mentioned much, unless you, and we'll talk about the championships that are coming up this weekend with NCAA in a minute, unless you stumbled across it on TV or you were, you know, reading through something and it got mentioned or whatever. But I think it is growing in Louisiana. And I always said, you know, before you came to Louisiana, they had ice hockey in Louisiana. There was a team in Lafayette, team in Baton Rouge, team in New Orleans, and did good for a while, and then the interest level kind of waned a little bit. But I always said, well, man, if they can love hockey in South Louisiana, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, and all, they can love anything, including lacrosse. And I think it has grown. I know there's, what, like 20 high schools that are now playing
something like that
in the state, and I could be off on a number. And I know Val Browning heads that up and does a great job, and I've got some meetings scheduled with him about some other stuff going forward. But I think the sport is growing, and what you're doing is also helping it grow both below you and above you.
Yeah, it is, and you've definitely covered kind of the gamut. You're right, about 10 years ago it didn't even exist in Baton Rouge, and Val Browning is a guy that is, you need to tip your hat to everything he's done at the youth level, high school, and statewide. I want to see it obviously grow at all levels, and I want to promote it at the college level, and we're hoping that Tulane will continue to bring their program back. Tulane played great lacrosse back in the 1980s when I was in college and playing. We played Tulane every year. They've struggled. They've been away from it. They're trying to bring their program back. ULL, another school just an hour away from us, and when we play them every year, and you know, we definitely could see a nice rivalry with them. We want the college teams to grow, because I want teams that we can play that are somewhat close to us, you know, and that helps us.
Well, coming up this Saturday and Monday, you got the NCAA championships, the semifinals and the finals, and it'll be all over the TV. So if you have an interest, check your listings. But tell us all about what's taking place Saturday, Monday for the lacrosse championship in the NCAA.
That's the college level of lacrosse that people have seen on television, and people that don't really know a lot about the MCLA, which is our NCAA. They say, well, do you play Notre Dame? Do you play Carolina? No. That's the varsity level. That's the highest level that's played. And you're right. This is the culmination of their season. There'll be a champion crowned at the Division I, II, and III levels this weekend. And it's a huge weekend. I've actually had the chance to go. It's in Philadelphia. The semifinals for the Division I, the 2 games will be played Saturday. ESPN will cover both of them. The winners of those 2 games will play at noon on Memorial Day for the Division I championship. And there'll be a D2 and D3 champion crowned also. I'm a little bit of a Notre Dame fan. I'm kind of rooting for Notre Dame. They've never won a national championship in lacrosse. I've had the chance to meet Coach Corrigan many times. He's a great guy. They run a fantastic program, and you know, kind of hoping the Fighting Irish can do it this
Well, you got to
weekend.
get them on the schedule, huh?
Well,
go to South Bend.
Yeah,
huh?
go to South Bend and play one of the
Well,
best
they might
in the
not
nation.
mind coming to Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
huh?
that's true. That's true. Coach Corrigan actually knows Coach Maneri quite well because Coach
Right.
Maneri was at Notre Dame for a while. So, yeah, we got a little pull.
Well,
there.
you might want to look after Coach Maneri gets done, whenever he does get finished with the season, and everybody hoping that's at the end of the Omaha thing.
Right.
I can help you with that. I played college baseball against Paul, so I can get you. We can get a call going up to South Bend, and maybe we'll put that on TV. I can tell you right now, Notre Dame comes to Baton Rouge, it's on Pelican Sports TV. You good with that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Huh?
That'd be fantastic.
All right, I know you got to get rolling. You're a busy guy here. You got any final comments, and tell folks how they can keep up with LSU Lacrosse, you know, social media, the internet. Give all of that info out for everyone.
Yeah, the best way is Facebook. I mean, I've got young man Bobby Peretta did an outstanding job. He's a player that kept us updated, and now he's passed that torch to a younger player, a young man named John Fry. So he's posting all the pictures, the updates. We also, Twitter is out there. We have a website. We're about ready to kind of update that. But the main thing is that people just need to easily find us. My email address is on there. If anyone has a question, write me. I'll write people back. I had a young man, 14-year-old, write me the other day, says, Coach, I live in a town, I don't have lacrosse. What can I do to play lacrosse? I wrote him back, you know, get on the wall ball, look things up on the internet. But, you know, we're hoping to carry about a 35-man roster again this year. We're looking forward to a great schedule. I'll let you in on one thing. My first team to get scheduled for the 16 season, someone we've never played, Purdue University, is coming to Baton Rouge in 2016. We've sealed that one up already. I've communicated with the coach, so we're going to build something around that, probably something at Olympia Stadium, maybe bring another team in that to be named yet and do kind of a 3-team round robin. So that's to come.
All right, well, you certainly need to keep us posted. You find the LSU Men's Lacrosse on Facebook. You can communicate there. You can keep up with them. We here at Pelican in the TV end and the radio end. I know you've been on with Buddy Sanji. You've been on the different shows. So you've been on with Andrew Alexander. So we'll keep you people posted here as well. You and your guys keep us posted, and let's keep raising the bar. Let's hope 2016 outdoes the efforts of the 2015 team.
Well, that's our plan, Tommy. I mean, we're reaching each year to make the program a little bit better, and of course our ultimate goal is to win a conference championship, and I think with what we're working on and our staff, we're headed that way. I certainly appreciate what Pelican Broadcasting has done for us. You've given us a lot of great exposure. Thank you for having me on your show.
Hey, it's just our little part to do it, and we enjoy doing it, I can tell you. Jeff, thank you so much. I know you got to get rolling. We appreciate Jeff Echols stopping by. And don't forget, it's LSU Men's Lacrosse on Facebook. You can take it from there, or if you contact us here at the station, I can get you pointed in the correct direction. We'll take a break, come back with a whole lot more of Tigers Roar.